الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسوله الكريم المبعوث رحمة للعالمين وعلى آله وصحبه ومن اهتدى بهديه إلى يوم الدين. أما بعد، حياكم الله my sisters. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. ربنا علمنا ما ينفعنا وانفعنا بما علمتنا وزدنا علما، اللهم آمين. اللهم لا سهل إلا ما جعلته سهلا، وإنك تجعل الحزن إذا شئت سهلا. اللهم اجعل القرآن العظيم ربيع قلوبنا ونور صدورنا وجلاء أحزاننا وذهاب همومنا وغمومنا. ربنا ذكرنا منه ما نسينا وعلمنا منه ما جهلنا وارزقنا تلاوته آناء الليل وأطراف النهار على الوجه الذي يرضيك عنا، اللهم آمين. So in our study and understanding, reflecting on Surat Yusuf, we have reached verse 24. We're going to start with the beginning and then carry on. I think we have reached برهان ربه. So أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. ولقد همت به وهم بها لولا أن رأى برهان ربه. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the beginning said what we could understand in English as, and indeed for sure there were two confirmations of the lam and the qad, that she, the wife of Al-Aziz, hammat bihi. Hamma is to have a determination, to have an advance, to move forward, to do something, and to take steps to do it. Bihi, with him. Him meaning Yusuf alayhi salam, when she, as we learned in the previous verse, closed all the doors, and she actually expressed it in words as well. So, and now Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, indeed, for sure, she took steps she was determined. She's not quitting or only hinting and hesitant. No, there is confirmation that she did advance. However, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَهَمَّ بِهَا لَوْلَا أَن رَأَى بُرْهَانَ رَبِّهِ. So, لَوْلَا, important to understand لَوْلَا. Who had notes from last week, if we can share لولا only, please. If not, if only, why not? أحسنتي. So لولا can have the three meanings, mashallah, but we try with the flow and see which one or two can go best with the flow. So وَهَمَّ بِهَا لَوْلَا means if only, or because only he saw burhan ربه, the proof from his Lord, he didn't do that. So, and we give examples last week, so I'm not going to repeat. So because only, or if only, that he had seen the burhan ربه, he would have as well hamma biha, because she's a lady, beautiful one. She closed the door so no one can see. He is a man, he is young. All the circumstances could lead to that. However, in his case, in that moment, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protected him, that he saw a burhan. Burhan means proof from his Lord. Okay? And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala continued to say, كَذَلِكَ لِنَصْرِفَ عَنْهُ السُّوءَ. So now this is now new. We're going to try and understand. كَذَلِكَ. So we had كَذَلِكَ before a few times. Who would like to help us with كَذَلِكَ? أحسنتي. Ka is the like or the such, and ذَلِكَ is the that. So كَذَلِكَ, such that, like that. لِنَصْرِفَ عَنْهُ السُّوءَ. So لِنَصْرِفَ, let's introduce لِنَصْرِفَ. So the lam, this lam here is not a, let me change color, it's not a for sure or indeed lam. This lam here is to say in order to, because of, or for. أحسنتي. So it can be for if it comes before nouns or attached to nouns, but this time it attached to verbs. So it goes with the meaning like in order to, due to, نصرف. صرف is to take a different alternative, to deviate, to put something out of the course. So the course, as we can understand, the course is can encourage that maybe this will happen. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sarafa means he put away. Advert, like here one of them said, advert, divert, deviate, all that can be sarafa. Not to deviate from truth, here to deviate from actually bad, which is السوء. لنصرف عنه السوء. عنه. What does عنه mean? This you can help me with. عنه. عن. Okay, can we remind each other with the meaning of عن? There are 3 meanings of عن. It's not wrong what our sister said, but I would like to review as we're at عن. What are the 3 possible meanings of عن? Okay, عن can mean from, عن can mean away from, or عن can mean about. From, away from, or about. And again, you look at the flow and you see which one suits the flow better. So in order we, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, this is the we, the na, in order we advert, put away, and then you find away from him. So advert away from him, put away from him. As-su'. What is as-su'? What does as-su' mean? What does as-su' mean? Something, okay, ahsanti, something bad, because in Arabic there is a hasana and there is a sayyi'ah. Hasana is a good deed, sayyi'ah is a bad deed. So as-su is all bad. Does it suggest evil? Could be, but there is a word for evil in Arabic, which is ash-sharr. So when you say this person has a sharr, means this person has evil. And opposite of sharr is not hasan, opposite of sharr is khair, which is good. But as you can see in both cases in English, you had to say good for hasana and good for khair as well, because alternatives in English are limited. In Arabic, there is a difference. So as-su is all bad, anything that is bad to be put away from him. That's why instead of saying everything bad, some of those who worked here on the understanding of the Quran put evil here. Put evil here. Let's see if they suggested something else. Evil again. To keep evil again. And evil. All of them suggested the word evil. So how do we understand? Can you understand it as evil? I will tell you it's okay to understand it like that, but you have to be aware that it's not how it's used in Arabic. And you use Arabic for the word for evil in Arabic is the word sharr. But so anything bad to be put away from him, to be advert away from him, not to touch him, not to be close to him. So that's as-su'. Then, wal-fahsha. What is fahsha? Fahsha, when you hear it in Arabic, the verb or the word, the root fa and ha and shin, fuhsh, for example. Something fuhsh can be something really bad in what the person says or speaks. Something mutafahish as well means something bad, bad expression when people speak about around you, you feel, oh, I don't want to hear that. Why are you speaking like that? Like has a lot of immorality, could be in the speaking. I'm not saying immorality in action. In the speaking, there is a lot of immoral words are being used. So when you hear that in Arabic, we say fuhsh, something fahish. I mean, something not even in the bound in what you call sayyi. No, it's beyond that. It has indecency in it. So fahsha can be understood as indecency, can be understood as immorality. Astaghfirullah. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, in order, so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala showed him this burhan, this proof, in order to advert, put away from him as-su, everything bad, wal-fahsha, indecency or immorality. So nothing of that will be attached to him. No one even will dare to say he did it, or people talk about his reputation. So anything bad is kept away from him. Anything immoral is kept away from him. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala continued to say, إِنَّهُ مِنْ عِبَادِنَا الْمُخْلَصِينَ. So let's try to understand. إِنَّهُ, indeed, he Yusuf alayhi salam, he, small h, is Yusuf alayhi salam. Innahu, min, from, and then عبادنا المخلصين. How do we understand عبادنا المخلصين? Okay, slave is abd, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying عبادنا, our servants, our slaves. المخلصين. So I want you to take a moment to think about al-mukhlasin. You may mistake it with al-mukhlisin with the lam with kasra. It's not a lam with kasra. And here, this is what they suggested. This is what I'm expecting you to say, but it is not the true or the accurate meaning of the word. Al-mukhlis with the kasra under the lam is the one who is 100% pure in what they do, because khalasa or khalusa in Arabic is like to be free from any impurities, free from any disturbances. That's khalasa. That's why we say, for example, dhahabun khalis. Dhahab is gold. Khalis means what? So dhahabun khalis can mean, I will write it here in Arabic so you can see how it looks like. Dhahabun khalis. Pure as 100% pure. No disturbances, no impurities in there. 100%, because the word pure again in English, and that is confusing for English speaker, because when we talk, for example, about zakat, you say it's purification. So you think ikhlas has something to do with zakat, because the meaning of the word pure is being put in both. But why is it put in both? Because the English vocabulary is limited. So is the one who doesn't affect by the praise or criticism? How did we get to that conclusion? Can you remind me with the... No, mukhlas. Are you talking about mukhlas or mukhlis first? Is the question about mukhlas or mukhlis? And second, from where, or if you remember a word that can help us to have... You're talking about mukhlis. It's not necessarily the criticism or the praise. Mukhlis is the person who does everything purely, very, like no disturbances there. So if they intend to do something for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, there isn't anything about themselves in there. There isn't anything about dunya or about someone else in there. Okay, so that is mukhlis. So back to dhahab khalis. Dhahab khalis 100%. So then when you are mukhlis with the kasra under the lam, so now explaining mukh, مخلص with a kasra under the lam. As well, we'll write it on the screen. مخلص. Let me write. Not مخلص. مخلص with the kasra like this. So if you are a mukhlis, then when you do something, you do it 100% pure, which means no disturbances, no impurities, nothing there to say this is not pure. So if you are actually working on gold, or if you are the gold in this case, you are 100% gold. So if you intend to let's say, help someone only for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you won't wait for them to thank you. And if they actually treated you rudely, you won't care either, because you didn't do it for them, or you didn't do it wanting their praise, or want them to look at you in a certain way, or to give you anything. You did it for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you're expecting the reward from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that's ikhlas, 100%. Okay, so that's the mukhlis. Then what's the difference then between mukhlis and mukhlas? Mukhlas with the fatha is the one who is being put or chosen, like here they suggested chosen. Why? Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala chose them as mukhlas. So he subhanahu wa ta'ala put them in a category called mukhlas, means they are to be put with the mukhlas, means again, they are to be put with those that are 100%. No one can speak about their reputation, nothing there to disturb their reputation or their mention or their history or their story in any way. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is confirming he is mukhlas. Yusuf alayhi salam is mukhlas. So you cannot possibly think that he would do that. You cannot possibly think that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala didn't protect him from that to start with. So he saw a burhan, that burhan assured his heart, and he stopped. He didn't advance toward the wife of Al-Aziz. He didn't go toward her, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made that the burhan to keep away from him everything bad, which is suq, and every indecency or immorality, which is fahsha. Indeed, he is from those that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala chose to be mukhlis, or kept them in ikhlas, kept them in 100%. So he, most of them said chosen, but let's see if others have other. Chosen. Oh, this is different. It's not English. Okay. So this is verse 24. So any questions about verse 24? Any word that was not clear, or you couldn't write because I was very fast? You can ask about that specific word. Okay. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم واستبق الباب. And that's to confirm what previously said, from her advancing and from him not doing. استبق. So if any of you studied Surat al-Nazi'at, فالسابقات سبقا, you would have an idea about استبق. So this alif in استبق is 2. We call it alif al-ithnain in Arabic grammar. So استبق, and they both who? Yusuf alayhi salam and the wife of Al-Aziz. Istabaqa means they raced one another to reach the door. He wants to reach the door so he can go out, and she's reaching the door so she can keep the door closed or open it with her own means, Allahu Alam. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying they both raced one another towards al-bab. وَاسْتَبَقَ الْبَابِ. Which of them will reach it first? That's the sabaqa or istabaqa. So sibaq in Arabic is to go in a race, or to try to raise someone to overcome, win them, or to win them. Okay. وقدت قميصه من دبر. وقدت. قد is to tear, rip, cut, but not with a like straightforward manner, not with the intent. So if you're grabbing something and then you didn't mean to break it or to tear it, but it ended up being torn, we say قد. So قدت قميصه, but as well it shows a strength, him pulling himself and she pulling him from the shirt. So there is a force being applied from him and from her that can end up or result in the tearing or the breaking of the qamis, his shirt. She torn. She broke. She tore, whatever you like, how you like to put it. She, if you, the only word you can maybe avoid is cut, because qata'a is different than qadda in Arabic. Qata'a is to cut, as to cut with a, on purpose, like to take a scissor, for example, and cut, or to cut in a straightforward manner, that's qata'a. But here it's qadda. So she torn his shirt from dubur. Dubur is the back. Okay, so قدت قميصه من دبر. So how much strength? You can say ripped as well, it's fine. Ripped, torn, or tore. So how much force was there? A lot of force from him and from her. Him pulling himself out, like to reach to the door, and she's pulling him back in. So that ended up in reaching. So that as well proved to us the direction. Yusuf alayhi salam doesn't want to be in the room. Yusuf alayhi salam wants to go outside of the room. He wants to escape this place. He doesn't want to be in that place. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants to protect him from as-su and al-fahsha, right? She doesn't want that. She wants to keep him in. So she pulled, and that ended up in cut or ripping of the shirt. This is the second time around that the shirt is mentioned. First time around when his brothers took the shirt off and returned back at night with the shirt, and they put lying blood, damin kadhib, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, on the shirt and showed it to his father to convince him that the wolf ate him. That was the first time. Second time here, shirt shows up again. His shirt, not any shirt. His shirt, Yusuf alayhi salam's shirt, shows up again. And in this time, it's ripped. Min dubur. And then, وَأَلْفَ يَا سَيِّدَهَا لَدَى الْبَابِ. So, alfa is another word like alqa or laqiya. Laqiya is to meet. Alfa is like laqiya, to meet, to find. So alfaya, again, what do you say? What do we call that alif? Who was able to pick the name of the alif at the end? Alfaya. The aliful ithnain. Aliful ithnain, the alif for two or the dual. So they both found sayyidaha, her sayyid. Her sayyid, we understand, is her husband. It's another word used for husband, sayyid, as the master of the house or the master of the wife. Sayyid. Sayyidaha. Lada al-bab. Literally, you can say in English at the door. So as the door was opened, they found him at the door. Okay. So until here, from the beginning of the verse, and they both raised, between brackets, reaching, and then the door, al-bab. She ripped his shirt from the back. And they both found her Sayyid, her husband, if you want, at the door. Okay. Then, now with that scene, although she is the one who غلقت الأبواب, we already know, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told us in another verse above. She is the one who closed the door. She is the one that attempted, advanced, said. But now she is the one who's speaking first. قالت, she said. So, and this sometimes can happen from the person who is wronging, not the person who is being wronged. Not usually, but sometimes you'll find this case. If you have two children, two siblings, two friends, one of them did something wrong and the other one didn't. You'll find most of the time that the one who is unjust is the one who's speaking first. Why you think so? Why you think this will happen? Should I repeat the question? Trying to justify their action to save themselves. Okay, this is the purpose, correct? But there is always another one. To defend, nothing there. Like they see you, the two children or the two siblings or the two friends, they see you, though the other one, the one who did wrong to the first, speaks first. So nothing there to defend, to accuse the other and protect themselves because they know what they did was wrong. Okay, they know what they did was wrong, but they don't want to be pointed at or looked at as the one who did wrong. So the story, okay, so Romana, alhamdulillah, may Allah reward you, Romana, it's about the story. And usually, most of us, may Allah forgive us and guide us to which is best, we hear the first person and we don't have time, or we get upset and angry and we don't have time to hear the second person. So if the person who did wrong managed to get his story first, now he has a story or she has a story on to be what? To be verified. You see? Before the judgment, no. It's just telling what happened first. When you hear what happened first from the first person, now the second person is not allowed to tell his part of the story. He's allowed to verify what he heard, or justify, or deny, or agree with what they heard. So who goes first usually has that step forward. Starting first always has that step forward. Okay, so then she did wrong, but she's now stepping forward. She said, "Ma jaza'u." Don't think of jaza as reward. And I told you that in other situation and in other classes. When we see jaza, we think reward. Jaza is not a reward. Jaza is a compensation or recompense. Because jaza comes with positive and with negative. That's why when someone does something good for us that we appreciate, what should we say? Jazakallahu khayran. Many of the sisters, and I heard, and no, we don't say jazakumullah. If you say jazakumullah, you're not saying it's good, my sister. Exactly. It has to have the good part, and that another confirmation that jaza doesn't mean reward, because if it meant reward automatically, you don't need the word khayran at the end. You see? No, it's okay, and I hear it from many sisters. It's not a problem. What is important is that we try to correct when we hear people say jazakallah. Because again, it was translated to them as, it says, may Allah reward you. No, Jazakallah, may Allah give you a recompense. And according to the intention of the speaker, that recompense can be different. You see? So we actually need to say what? خيرا. Jazakallahu khayran. So, ما جزاء, she's asking, what is the recompense of who, وإياكم, من who أراد بأهلك سوءا. أراد, wanted بأهلك. So this is another word like سيدها that has another use. So usually when we read أهل, we think people of, family, isn't that right? But here أهلك means your wife. You see? So أهلك here doesn't mean your family. أهلك here means your wife. سيدها here doesn't have to be her master. It can be as well her husband. Okay, so she's saying, what is the recompense? Like, what is how this person is going to be dealt with? Who wanted with your wife su'an? So let's see if they all agree to say evil to su'an here as well. Let's see. If you spot, because all the translations of the meanings we read above, where it has the word as-su, they said the evil. So what do we have here? Look here, the word su, all of a sudden now, it's not evil anymore. Is what here? We tried to violate your wife. Here it says violate. Here it says evil. Evil. She said, what other than prison punishment? Who tried to dishonor your wife. So here they didn't say evil. You see, why am I showing you that? Because sometimes we get too fixated on the translation. When I asked you, what is su? All the translations suggest su is evil. So what does it that mean evil in Arabic? Are we in understanding to that? What is the word that suggests evil in Arabic? Okay. One of my sisters answered. Okay, what about others? What is the word that suggests evil in Arabic? The Arabic word that you can think of it in English as evil is the word sharr. Exactly. But the word su is not exactly evil. Su can mean anything bad. You see here, they now in disagreement on how they translate su. One of them said evil, one of them said dishonor. Let's see, the third said evil again. But they're not all in agreement like they did with the word asu before. And it's the same word. The only difference is that this one doesn't have alif lam and the other one does. So be careful of getting fixated on or like with the deciding a word, what it means in Arabic based on a translation you read once about it or twice about it. It could be different in the context. Okay, so back to the question. She said, what is the recompense of or for, between brackets, who wanted su'an, bad, something bad, between brackets you can add what you want, dishonor, something bad, with your wife. That's the bi'ahlika bit. And then she is suggesting the punishment herself. Scholars have something to say about that. I will explain first until the end of the verse, and then I will come back. She is suggesting the punishment herself. So she's saying, illa an yusjana, If we know any of the words, إلا أن يسجن. except أن يسجن. that يسجن. أحسنتي. يسجن sounds like what if we know the word? Okay, to be prisoned, like to be put in prison. أو عذاب أليم. Not سجين, no, just سجن. عذاب أليم. Or أليم is not severe. شديد could be understood severe, but أليم is painful. أعوذ بالله. Painful punishment. So she's suggesting for him, and she knows he didn't do anything. She's suggesting for him painful punishment, or after the first suggestion, which is to be put in prison. Some had something to say about that. They said she's suggesting the punishment, maybe, wallahu alam, because she still wants to continue what she intended or what she started already. What is the proof to that? That she didn't wait for the husband to say, okay, you are out of the house, I never want to see you again. She didn't wait for that to happen. She is saying, no, put him in prison. She didn't say no, but what she's suggesting is put him in prison or painfully punish him. As she doesn't want him to be out, she wants these two options to keep him in. So that can be understood, and we're going to see that later, that she still wants to go on with the intention she had in the beginning. Scholars as well had something to say about the word arada, wanted. Here they say intended. Intention is not arada in Arabic. Intention is niyya, nawa. But arada is to want. But they say, subhanallah, she didn't say who did something wrong with your wife. She said who wanted to do. So she didn't accuse him of doing, but she accused him of what? Who understood this? It didn't say who did something bad. She's saying, what is the recompense of who wanted to do something bad? Who wanted to do something bad. Ahsanti. So she wanted this decision and adab alif for wanting, not for doing. She didn't suggest that Yusuf alayhi salam did anything bad to her, but she is saying that she saw in like the wanting. She saw some signs that she can be sure that he wanted that, and that's very important to notice. So now back to the flow again. She said, what is the recompense of who wanted? Some keep saying intended. Nawa in Arabic, nawa is the niyyah. My dear sisters, we talked about the translation before, even today. Don't get your understanding of the words in Arabic from the translation. Arada, yuridu in Arabic is to want. Nawa, yanwi is to intend. Okay, so who wanted with your family, astaghfirullah, with your wife, su'an between brackets, dishonor, to do something bad, except that he is put in prison or painful punishment. Okay, so you see now the mihna that Yusuf alayhi salam is an end. We only have few minutes just reflecting. So the mihna started with her wanting to do with him, asking him for himself. He is working for her. He is at her home. He is a servant. So himself is what he has. a say in who does what to himself. But she still asked him that, right? First. Second, she was determined. She closed the doors and she said it in words. Third, she had advanced steps. She moved on. She didn't back down or stopped. No, she continued to pursue. Yusuf alayhi salam saw a proof from his Lord. He didn't do. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protected him to keep the su' and fahsha away from him. But her wanting him, that was not the end of the trial yet. It's now the husband showed up at the door, and before he had a chance to say anything, he's already accused of wanting to do something bad, and this is another trial. So the wanting bit and her closing the doors and him alone in the room, that's one trial. Now this is a second trial. So it's not, if we are observing it from our point of view, is it getting easier or is it getting harder? Like if we are in a situation and you're looking forward for the relief, and instead of the relief, it gets it gets harder. We need to carry on. We cannot lose hope. We cannot say, why me? We cannot say, he didn't say any of that, alayhi salam. Okay, so sometimes the trial doesn't get easier. And this is what our reflection, takeaway, understanding. If we are in a situation that is hard, it could get harder or more complicated from our perspective as human, observing or feeling or experiencing the trial. Okay, and as you can see, it did. He finished one problem as to escape the place. He found himself accused, and now there is a third person, and there is suggestion of him to be put in prison or being punished, and he didn't even do anything wrong. Right? Okay. I'll start the next verse. I'll stop there, inshallah. قال. So now he speaks, alayhi salam. But he had to speak second because she spoke first, and she is the mistress. She is the lady of the house. قال هي راودتني عن نفسي. He said all the truth. He said, قال, she, here, راودتني. Remember راودة? What did we say for راودة before? Who would like to help us with that? We learned وراودته التي in verse 21. Right? No, not 21. 23. راودته. What does راودته mean? What notes do you have for راودته? No, my sister. No one asked her anything. Herself. Okay, who would like to help us with the note? To ask someone. She trying to get something in many ways. That's rawada, ahsanti, to try to convince someone to do something they usually not agreeing with. That's the general meaning of rawada. Someone is opposing to something, not agreeing with something, and someone else is trying and attempting to convince them. But if the murawada is about nafsihi, that's now asking to the person himself, asking to give himself for usually, a'udhu billah, fahisha, immorally. So he here, alayhi salam, said, she did that to me. She rawadatni an nafsi. She asked me for myself, asked me to give myself immorally, asked me to give myself in an indecent way. This is the rawadatni. So she asked me, he's saying, me, alayhi salam, me, which is me, about myself, which between brackets, to give myself in an indecent way or immoral way. Okay, inshallah we stop there and we'll continue next time. Jazakumullah khairan for following. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it beneficial for all of us. ربنا علمنا ما ينفعنا وانفعنا بما علمتنا وزدنا علما اللهم آمين. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار وجزاكم الله خيرا. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم. إن شاء الله we continue next time. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.